Have you ever seen something that looked really good, but you couldn't tell like exactly why? Like a picture of somebody, or like a picture of a landscape or something in real life, maybe like the way a fruit is sitting on the table or the way the lighting has come in on someone's face, like just a bunch of different things that we don't know why they look good, but for some reason they do. There's this thing called composition, and that's usually the reason why. Composition is how you organize things in your shot. So like right now I'm gonna put an overlay on the screen and you're gonna see that there's a bunch of boxes and a bunch of lines, and where the lines cross is where you wanna put important things. So I'm in two of the intersecting points, which is where you put something important in this shot. And because there's a lot of things on this side of the screen, I have things like my computer and the lens and my microphone and just a bunch of things to fill the shot and make it feel balanced. If I just shot myself in a white wall and I was all the way on the one side, it would feel really unbalanced, it would feel really awkward and just kind of look ugly. Some say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but really composition wins it all. It's not necessarily that you sit when you watch a movie and you think, wow, that composition is amazing or terrible or whatever. It's subconsciously, after years and years of seeing the things that humans like, we can make patterns and see, okay, well, this is what you want to do because we, by default, like that thing more. Like I'll put up a little research, there was like a little study about proportionality of the face. So I'll put up like 5-6 pictures of people and I'll just loop through them, and you'll see that progressively as the person becomes less and less proportional, they become less and less attractive. Of course, there's a little bit of room there for your personality and what you like more, but the composition of the face actually does make someone look more attractive or less attractive. One scene where this is really prominent is a scene from The Dark Knight where Harvey Dent is talking to the mayor. And Harvey Dent comes in talking about something where they caught a bunch of criminals, and the mayor is like really scared about what he did and really worried. And throughout the interview, you could see that the mayor kind of realizes what's going on and sees an opportunity, gets excited, and now he wants to become the dominant one in the conversation. So he kicks out everyone in the room except for Harvey Dent, tells him to sit down, and then he gets up himself. So he puts Harvey Dent in a position where now he's looking down at Harvey Dent instead of Harvey Dent looking down at him, making him the more dominant one. And that's just like little things that we don't realize necessarily when we're watching the movie, but they really do change the way we feel. Like if I had the camera all the way down to the floor looking up in my face, it'd make me look like a big giant monster. But if I had the camera all the way up looking down at me, I would feel like a little small ant. So just so you guys know, Josh and I filmed the larger part of this video in Austin, Texas, and then we never finished it because we were only there for like a week and we were filming Patrick's documentary. So I have kind of like half footage from my room here and half of the footage from Austin, Texas. So I'm just gonna go between the two. But pretty much we went through a bunch of different rules and things to follow that would help you compose your shot better. So we have things like the golden ratio, which is a mathematical formula that tells you where to put things perfectly on the screen. Like in this picture with this guy sitting outside this lake, like you see the railings all lead to his body, the trees are all next to him, and I'll put the golden rule one and you'll see that. Then there's things like the rule of thirds, which we went over at the starting of the video. It's those lines and boxes on the screen, and you want to put important things in the corners.
The problem with the golden rule is that it can be in 4 different orientations. So we go with the rule of thirds because it's the closest thing we have to it that we can apply in any single frame orientation. So we'll start with the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is a grid, a 3x3 grid, and in the middle is a box, and that's where you want to put most of the items, on one of the corners of that box. So you got lines going horizontally, which will be for like a horizon. So we took some video of the helicopter and we put the horizon of the floor, sorry, of the street on it. And then you got the corners of that box for important items. So I would put Josh's face in one, another item in another. We took some pictures where we put the helicopter in one corner and we put Josh in another, things like that. The next one is the exact opposite of the rule of thirds, or what the rule of thirds is against, which is putting things in the middle. The rule of thirds wants you to put things on the side, and this is a rule of symmetry, so you're going to put things in the middle, but only if they're really symmetrical, because then otherwise it doesn't look very good. So what you're looking at right now is me standing in the middle of this sidewalk, and I'm currently doing the rule of symmetry in the middle. Everything is the same on the left and on the right, but if I move over to this side and put the corner of the box where my head is, then now it becomes a rule of thirds. Same thing if I do it on this side. So one of our favorites, Josh and I, who's behind the camera, our favorite rule that we love to do is the simulated depth. So when you see this video, when you see any type of video on your computer screen, it's meshed into a 2D picture, just like when you look like an actual picture or a drawing you drew. If you drew like a 3D square on a paper, it wouldn't actually be 3D, but it would look like it. It's because you're giving that simulated effect of depth. And we do that in our videos. So we put something very close to us, to the camera, in the foreground, and then you put a bunch of things like all those things behind me in the background, and that gives you that sort of depth. So we went out and we shot a couple different clips of that. There's one technique called isolating the subject. So you put the subject in a situation where it's actually the only thing in the shot. So if the camera right now was to go to the floor and look up at my face with the sky in the background, you would have to see my face. There'd be nothing else for you to see. You want someone to look at a specific thing, right? So you want them to look at me only. And there's things in the background, but you want to force them to look at me. So what you do is you put me in a situation where there's absolutely nothing in the background, or it's like a single color, like a white wall or something, and you're forced to look at me. Like, you know those scenes where they have like there's interrogating rooms? You know, like in the Batman movies where they're sitting like in a jail cell and there's literally nothing in the background but the jail bars and the wall? Like a white screen, like a green screen, anything where you're forced to look at that one thing. A good situation to use the isolation technique is when you want to do something like marketing, where you have like 5 to 30 seconds to hold someone's attention, and you want to make sure that you hold it onto exactly that specific subject or that specific item so that you don't lose their attention while you have it. And the next one on the list is leading lines. Leading lines sounds exactly like what it is. You have lines that are leading to the object that you want to entice people to look at. So I have a picture I showed earlier where there's a guy standing on the road and the road is leading towards the guy, and that's the first thing you look at when you open that picture. In this case, it would be that sign at the end of the road that says your speed on it. So in this case, where we're standing is we got this road here, which is a leading line, and at the end of it, you have a sign that says your speed on it. And that's quite obvious because all the lines here, the grass, the street, the sidewalk, all lead to it, and it's in the middle of the shot. The change your point of view technique is a technique where you put the camera in situations that you can never actually be in. So on the wing of a plane, on the front of a boat, on the front of a car going really fast on the road, on a bow and arrow, underneath a car, underneath a plane, underneath a helicopter, let's say on the other side of a gun. You wouldn't want to do that for real. You would want to put a camera and see what it looks like from a camera angle. Unless you're going to go and lie down on the wing of a plane, you'll never be able to get that shot of the wing flying around as you do barrel rolls and you just have fun with the plane. So going back to the lower thirds technique, you want to have something on one side and something equally as large or as colorful or as bright on the other side. It's called being visually balanced. So think of it as an actual scale, and if you have something bright on the left side, you want to match that weight with something bright on the right side. So in this case, I'm right here and I'm a big heavy object that's doing a lot of movement, and then you got the bush on the other thirds that's holding that weight that I'm pushing. So then we got something called visual balance. Visual balance is when the shot is actually balanced by bright items, big items, dark items. Pretty much if there's something bright on this side of the shot, you want something bright on that side of the shot. If there's something dark on this side of the shot, you want to repeat that onto the other side. And you always want to keep it balanced. So if I was to walk over to this side, all the weight is currently here. The bush is behind me, I'm here, and there's nothing on that side containing the balance, keeping the balance between the shot.
If you enjoyed this video and it brought you value, please do consider liking the video and subscribing. It really helps us a lot in pushing our video out. And we're gonna be making much more content like this and much more things to do with brand building, everything when it comes to thumbnails, all the way to maybe even setting up your business. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the